G'day, and welcome back to part two of Mick fixes a tape deck he found by the side of the road. I know you've been hanging out for this. If you haven't seen part one, though, well, I've probably just told you everything you need to know, but I could use the views or whatever, so go put that on in the background next time you walk out of the room. Anyway, the tape deck actually did all the right things when we were trying to play a tape last time. Nothing actually went bang. So I ordered some new drive belts from a place on the internet that's called Germany. Now we're going to put those in and see how that goes and see if the clicky noises stop and if it rewinds properly and all that. So let's crack on. So while bearing in mind again that I have absolutely no idea what I'm actually doing, I have read some things since the last episode, and I've taken things apart before, and I've got a screwdriver which I can point at things with. So this is good. Apparently, the first thing we want to do is just take the whole tape mechanism thing out. The tape mechanism being this bit. This is the bit with the actual belts on. It's plugged into the little board over here on three places. We just got to do that. And apparently, the screws are like that we've got to take out are all specially coloured. Let's do that. We'll take the tape mechanism out, get it onto like a thing on the table, and then we can have a look at it, a bit closer up. Now, these little ones should be pretty straightforward, I believe. Yeah, look at that. This one confused me for a little bit. I was looking for a way to undo it, and I think I was overthinking it because I think all you have to do is just like push it down, and that takes the tension off, and that just lifts out. How good's that? I don't know if there's like an inherently good way to show this off as I do it, so we'll probably do the little fast forwardy bit, won't we? There's a little bit more in than I still thought it was. There we go. Oh, look at that. Oh. So that's the mechanism completely out. Oh, there we go. Now, there's three main belts we've got to get in there to replace. The big wide one at the top there on the big wheel, and the two little ones in there. So we've got to get into that somehow, and that's going to be fun. I don't know how to do that yet. I think if we take these two screws out of here, we can lift this board off, and that'll help see a lot more of what's going on inside. Righto. Two screws. Let's see how we go. Feels like the worst thing that could happen here is that maybe I'll have to put them back in again. There is a mechanical diagram of this that I've got, and it is extremely intimidating. So I don't want to do anything right now that I can't easily walk back. Because if the whole thing goes exploding into a pile and just like ends up with bits everywhere and doesn't work anymore, I'm probably going to put it all in a box and pretend nothing ever happened for 5 years. Look at that. I can see a bit where the belts aren't actually trapped. I reckon that might be where we hook the belts off. What do you reckon? I don't think I can stress this enough. If you want to watch this done by someone who knows what they're doing, you want to go and search for Tech all right? Not Mick. All right, so there's no way to hook the belts off yet without, hitting some kind of catch-22 where they're just like all hanging off internally. So I'm going to try and get this top cover off, which I think is the key. Now, I think that's dependent on when we first remove this little thing here. We're going to unhook that spring and be careful not to lose that. I think if I take off those three screws and those two screws, it looks like I'll be able to take this plate with the motor on it off. It'd be super awesome if I didn't lose this little spring. I'm hoping it's attached at the other end. Oh, yeah, that looks all right. Now I can just screwdriver these and we'll see how we go. Being dangerously close to the only way out is through stage here, and at high risk of the whole thing going in the aforementioned big cardboard box and pretend we never happened. It. What we got? Oh, here we go. Oh, I hope I don't have to uncable tie that. Alright, I'm going to give that a little bit of a fiddle with the camera not in the way. Alright, everything got a lot easier with that little cable tie gone. We'll have to tidy up again later. But now that's come off. As you can see, that's all the belts are fallen off there, but all the other belts should be accessible now, assuming I can lift that off, but I haven't tried that yet. But I say, once I replace the belts, because I can like put them on there, put that back, and then I can hook them back in here. Loop that belt. Oh, I suppose we could just, yeah. You're thinking about this all the wrong way, Mick. You are. You don't need to do that because you can do that, right? Oh, see, I can figure things out. I know what I'm doing. One of the belts is smaller than the others, and I did notice which way around that went. I'm pretty sure the small belt was the one that went around this guy. Right, so this belt goes around this guy. We untwist it. Around there. Get the twists out. Yeah, the twists came out. All right. Now, this one goes around this guy and over to our motor when we get that back in. And this one is hard to get wrong. Well, I'm guessing it's possible to get it wrong, but it's not hard to mistake it for the other ones. Those are hooked over the right things. Now we can put this back in place and put those back around the motor there. That was really fiddly. I put one screw back in on each side on that plate now just to hold it steady while I have a go at like hooking the belts into the right place, because it was very fiddly and you're never going to see how much fiddling I did. Come here, mate. I bet there's some people out there watching me do this, screaming at the computer, telling me I'm doing the hard way. Well, looked like we got there. Let's try and hook in and find that little one. There you are, Tiger. Get up around there. So at this point, it's looking like all the new belts are in and doing what they're supposed to do. So if, and this is a big if all the problems with the tape deck stemmed from the fact that the belt tension wasn't right and everything was just a little slippy and thing, it should work really good now. So let's find out what happens. Let's get the rest of it together. When I started doing these videos, I like had the idea, I thought, if I did a thing where it was all linear, it was like, just start to finish, A to B, it'd be really easy to edit, it'd be really easy to do. I wouldn't need to write a script or anything. I could just charge straight through it. So let's screw the right size for that hole. And it'd be really easy. Yeah, and you see what happens when, yeah. So yeah, little pro tip here from me, from Mick. If you think something's going to be easy, it's not. Everything is hard. Don't try. Now, whoever at Technics in the 80s is watching this, I just want to know what was going through your mind when you went, we're going to have 5 screws holding a thing together, and we're going to make one of them different. And yes, that is definitely the spot where the odd one was. I went back and watched the previous video and checked. You can do that too. That's where it goes. Looks like we're now at the slightly exciting point where I'll put the thing back in the case thing and see if we've done anything at all. Although while this is out, might be a good time to get in there with a little cotton bud. What do you reckon? I'm going to stop short of committing and putting that cable tie back just yet, though. That seems like it might be a little bit too ambitious at this point. All right, cotton bud, alcohol, clean up, back in the case, and let's see what happens. I'm not going to make you sit through watching me put all those screws back in because, you know, I think we've done the interesting part. Oh, yum, hey? That's all stuff that used to be on, like, the heads and the rollers and things, and, like, now it's not. Better out than in. It was a little bit tricky to get the buttons lined up. They've got to sit on the little tabby bits, but everything seems to be sitting where it's supposed to be with no stress. I don't need to hold it in place. It's all looking good. So I'm going to put the screws in, plug the wires back in, and let's see what happens. Let's see if it goes bang. It's not going to go bang. That's all screwed back. We should just be able to go like this now. Make sure we get all the things. I don't like the lack of support under here. Just a little bit of consumer feedback there, Technics. Get on that, will you? There you go. If you want to freeze frame that, maybe you can build your own one. All the buttons seem to be okay. Eject's a little bit, but you know, it works. Let's get back to our little friend here, the old English language tutorial tape, and let's see what's changed here, shall we? Now, the counter's not going to work yet because I haven't reattached that belt, just in case I need to pull the whole thing out again. Just do a quick. Rewind was a bit wonky before. He's one of those, hey, millennials or whatever. Yeah. Oh, you know about this? You know about this? You heard it? You seen this? You heard about this? How weird. Oh, look, we used to do this all the time. Everyone knew all about this. New kids don't even know you're born or something.
Signature.
All right, so I think you can see there that it's actually,
Page
it's
5.
working. That little tick, tick, tick noise doesn't seem to be exactly the same. I'm going to have to look at the video we took last time and just do a compare because it doesn't seem like it's quite the same thing, but maybe it's just lubrication. I don't know. I'm going to put the tape counter back on, and then we're going to try something else that I've been putting off for a bit. So let's see how we go.
Married or single?
The experiment we're going to try here is I've prepared myself a lovely cup of drive belt tea because allegedly you can boil your drive belts and get a little bit of life out of them. And I'm only doing that for the rewind counter one. And if it fails at a later date, well, I can always go to that website, Germany. Pull that out now. Oh, how good's that look? Nothing like a nice cuppa, is there? If you made it this far, you probably already figured out that I'm a bit of an idiot at times, and I didn't quite realise that I was going to have to unscrew all the mechanism. I thought I could get the record belt in without unscrewing everything again, but of course I couldn't. I had to take it all apart again. But and it works. Are we still getting audio?
Page 2.
Are we still hearing our little friends?
What is your first name?
We've played back tapes. The question remaining is, can we record a thing? Now, I've got some cheap ass, blank tapes for ripping off hipsters with. Pull it down a little bit. And let's see how we go. So theoretically, we should just hit record, right? We give it a minute. Won't go through the leader. There should be nothing coming through. Now, if we hit play on a song, oh, can we see levels happening? Let's move that over a little bit. Levels. I'm not actually hearing this in the room at all. There's occasional little peaks there. Let's see how that sounds. All right. That should be enough to test. We're going to stop that. Or there is something definitely up with the rewind situation. But let's do that. Now if we go play, this should come through on the computer with the rest of the stuff. Maybe we'll hear a little song. Get where I pull all the things up. In theory, this should look a lot like the lights did when it was going in, right? It did the same thing. You like the song? It's not going to get a copyright strike. I know, because I wrote it, made it, assembled it from parts. Well, unfortunately, it seems like it didn't get super far. Well, I have changed the drive belts. We know the drive belts are no longer the problem. There's something going on with the record, not the record, there's something going on with the rewind. That's probably the same thing as why it's doing the ticking thing. And in fact, I found a thread on an old forum talking about, well, pretty much what it sounds exactly the same thing. But it does refer to the fact there's being a fault with the simple torque control mechanism. And I'll tell you what, I had a look at the diagram, and I don't think the word simple is allowed anywhere near this concept. I may get to it, may get more confident, may pull it apart. I'm going to chuck it in like the little cabinet for a bit, play a tape on it through some proper speakers. I've recorded a thing now. Let's see how it comes out. Let's see if it's behaving itself and see where we go from there. So there might be a part 3. Look, I'm not in a hurry to get into this more, but if I have a moment of like, a little light bulb thing going on, I'll give it a crack. And maybe I'll find something else by the side of the road before too long, and maybe we'll get back to that then. So yeah, thanks for watching this, and if you want to put any of my other videos on in the background while you're not in the room, that'd be great. Or you could just like subscribe and hit the like button and do that kind of stuff. It'd be nice if you did. Cheers. Thanks.